I want to start this video by simply saying that I love Bleach. I've loved Bleach my whole life, and it was the first anime that I discovered on my own. I'd seen Naruto and Dragon Ball, but I simply watched those because my older brother watched those anime, and I thought that if I watched these shows, then I could be closer to him. I thought this because my older brother is 9 years older than me and lives a great distance away from me, so I barely got the chance to see him. It was my older brother that got me into the idea of anime when I was in middle school, and I sat at home one day when I was sick and decided now's the time to start Bleach. I was instantly drawn in by the music and art style, and my childhood brain loved giant sword killing monsters. But most importantly, I loved Ichigo. I loved the dynamic he brought to the story. The most common complaint I hear when I tell my friends I love Bleach, or when I hear people talk about Bleach, is that Ichigo is boring. They don't like Ichigo. They don't like that Ichigo doesn't have a set goal that he's marching towards. In shonen manga, which is the genre of manga Bleach is, and generally the most popular style of manga in Japan, the typical shonen protagonist is a lovable powerhouse that loves his friends. Goku was the first shonen protagonist, and Goku changed the status quo, but this was changed once again with One Piece and Naruto. Every shonen protagonist is in some way inspired by or is influenced to be similar to Goku in terms of personality, whether having certain personality traits to either perfect the formula or to be the inverse of it. And every shonen protagonist has Luffy and Naruto to thank for having a goal to work towards. Luffy being the Pirate King and Naruto the Hokage. Goku, Luffy, and Naruto are without a doubt the most influential characters in manga. But what does that have to do with Ichigo? Well, back in the early 2000s, Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece were known as the Big Three. It took the world by storm, and a new generation was introduced to anime. And those kids and Adult Swim would never be the same. The Big Three term was coined as these three manga had the highest sales at that point in time. Their influence is still being felt today in manga like Black Clover, My Hero Academia, and Demon Slayer. That being said, Ichigo has a resounding legacy. He's a part of the most influential group of manga, so why does he get this hate? Well, out of the Big Three, Bleach has had the least amount of staying power. Bleach was usually more towards the bottom when it came to manga sales, but that has little to do with popularity. I just wanted to point out all potential factors. I could think of a few potential reasons, and I'm going to be going over each point in detail and every major event that changes Ichigo as a character. The first being the most talked about point, that Ichigo has no goal and is a reactive protagonist, meaning that he reacts to changes in the world instead of the other way around. Funny enough, Luffy is someone that can be considered the quintessential proactive protagonist, as he doesn't change at all throughout his story, instead the focus being on how he changes the world. And I can actually say the opposite is true for Ichigo, and how every encounter in the world and every new discovery changes him. Ichigo's character is immediately captivating, drawing viewers in with his distinctive look, unconventional attitude, and raw power. Ichigo's true greatness lies in his complexity of his character, his growth, and his development. Bleach introduces Ichigo as a high school student with an unusual ability. He can see ghosts. The events of his life change dramatically when he meets Rukia Kuchiki, a Shinigami who is injured and in need of help. After this encounter, Ichigo absorbs Rukia's powers, making him a substitute Shinigami, and setting the stage for the rest of the story. Ichigo's appearance is striking at first glance. He has spiky orange hair, sharp features, and a towering height that sets him apart from the crowd. His personality is what makes him stand out more, though. As an unconventional character, Ichigo disregards social norms and expectations in favor of his own sense of justice and morality. In order to protect those that he cares about, he is willing to put himself in harm's way. He's also impulsive, brash, and prone to letting his emotions get the best of him. But what makes Ichigo so interesting to watch is how human he is. Ichigo's flawed. He's not perfect, and he makes a lot of mistakes, but in a lot of ways, we can see ourselves in Ichigo. He's supposed to represent us. This actually, in a way, leads to the next complaint I hear, that Ichigo is every race in Bleach, and it's unnecessary and convoluted and breaks a story. I think that this is somewhat disingenuous, and it negates what Mr. Kubo was going for when it comes to Ichigo, that being the surrogate and central connection to the audience. This actually goes to Ichigo's main purpose and goal, that is to protect. He wants to protect everyone, but I'll get to that in a second. The races in Bleach are as follows: Human, Soul Reaper, Hollow, and Fullbringers. And don't forget Quincy's. Each race essentially gets explored in every arc of the series, and Ichigo is a member of every race, meaning he is the ultimate hybrid. But in all seriousness, I don't think that it's the statement itself, but more the way it was revealed. These races were explored slowly throughout the course of the show, so him all of a sudden being the new race of character that showed up was a little off-putting, and it made it seem like it was kind of just shoehorned in. Throughout the series, Ichigo grapples with his own identity and the conflicting forces within him. When Rukia comes out of nowhere and awakens his Soul Reaper powers, the series begins to delve deep into the theme of identity, examining the multifaceted nature of self and the struggles individuals face in understanding and accepting who they are. Bleach explores this theme throughout the experience of its characters, particularly Ichigo and the various Soul Reapers he encounters. Throughout the series, Ichigo grapples with his dual nature as a human and a Soul Reaper. He must reconcile his responsibilities and powers as a protector of both worlds while navigating the complex emotions and conflicts that arise from this duality. The series also introduces characters like Vizards, individuals who are both Soul Reapers and Hollows, blurring the lines between good and evil and challenging the traditional notions of identity. The Vizards struggle to find their place in the world and serves as a reflection of the many internal conflicts many people face when grappling the battles of who they are. The thing about Kubo is that he writes very subtly, and a lot of his characters are metaphors for higher concept things. Furthermore, Bleach explores the notion that identity is not fixed, but can be shaped and influenced by external factors. The Hollows, once human souls corrupted by negative emotions, exemplify this idea. By delving into backstories of various Hollows, the series highlights how personal experiences and traumas can shape one's identity, often leading to a spiral of darkness. This exploration prompts viewers to question the nature of identity and the impact of external forces on an individual's sense of self. Through Ichigo and his interactions with other characters in the series, we get to see the complexities of identity formation, the impact of societal expectations, and the transformative power of self-acceptance. The exploration of identity in Bleach prompts viewers to reflect on their own sense of self and highlights the significance of embracing one's true identity, emphasizing that the journey of self-discovery is a complex and ongoing process for everyone, offering a nuanced portrayal of the struggles individuals face in understanding and accepting themselves. As the story progresses, Ichigo learns that he is not just a Soul Reaper, but is a hybrid of a Soul Reaper, Hollow, and Quincy. Each of these identities represents a different aspect of his being, and while they often clash within him, the presence of his Hollow side in particular creates a constant internal struggle. It symbolizes his darker impulses and the potential for him to lose control and become a threat to others. This internal conflict raises questions about the nature of one's identity and the choices one must make. Ichigo's journey becomes a search of balance within himself. Ichigo's struggle with his identity mirrors the broader theme of duality in Bleach. The series explores the notion that individuals are not simply defined by one aspect, but rather a combination of light and darkness, good and evil. Ichigo's internal turmoil serves as a reflection of his overarching theme, highlighting the complexity of human nature and the constant battle between opposing forces within himself. It is through this struggle that not only he discovers his true potential, but also learns valuable lessons about empathy, understanding, and the importance of accepting oneself and others despite their flaws. Ichigo needs to protect. He has to protect those close to him because if he doesn't, who else will? This core desire comes from a very intense trauma. When he was very young, his mother was the light of his life, always breaking into a smile when he saw her, and when he was very young, his world would all change one day when they were walking home and Ichigo runs to save a young girl by the river, and his mom gets between him and a Hollow. There's more to what happened that caused his mother to die in this occurrence, but that's unimportant currently. The main point is that Ichigo failed. He failed to protect his mother, he failed to protect the person he cared about the most, but because of this instance, he decided to protect everyone that he could and became an agent of change. And that's what he became, a human strong enough to save his friends from impossibly strong forces, and in doing so became impossibly strong, but never letting his strength get in the way of what he truly cared about. He never lost sight of his goal, to protect. Throughout Bleach, various characters and events leave a lasting impact on the Soul Society, reshaping its dynamics and challenging its established order. The actions of both protagonists and antagonists have far-reaching consequences that extend beyond individual storylines, influencing the very fabric of the spirit world. One of those significant impacts is the arrival and actions of Ichigo Kurosaki. As a substitute Soul Reaper, Ichigo disrupts the traditional hierarchy and norms of the Soul Society. His unorthodox methods, innate powers, and determination to protect protect both the living and spirit realms, shake the foundations of the Soul Society. This impact forces the Soul Society to reassess its belief systems and treatment of individuals like Ichigo, who defy conventional expectations. Also, if you don't get anything from this video, please watch the Soul Society arc. It is one of the best arcs in all of anime. Please watch it. And while initially driven by a desire to protect his family and friends, Ichigo's sense of responsibility gradually expands to encompass a broader scope as he becomes aware of the larger threats lurking in the spiritual realm. Despite the inherent dangers and personal sacrifices involved, Ichigo willingly takes on the role of a Soul Reaper and embarks on numerous perilous missions to shield others from harm. And now we get into one of the most interesting parts of the story. Ichigo without his powers, without his ability to protect, without the one thing that gave him purpose. He has to learn how to be a normal person and stand back as his friends protect everyone and protect him. This all changes when one of Ichigo's friends ends up in the hospital and a group called the Fullbringers approach him. A group of humans with new abilities, and they offer him a chance to get his powers back. Ichigo eagerly accepts retraining with the goal in mind, becoming strong again so he can protect everyone. This portion of the story is Ichigo at his lowest. It is also at this point where his mind is attacked. The character named Tsukishima is the main antagonist for most of this arc, but instead of being a normal villain, he is literally the embodiment of Ichigo's worst nightmare, as he has the ability to alter his friend's memories into thinking he's an ally. During this time, Ichigo's friends start treating him differently in an effort to protect him. Ichigo has been putting on a front that he was okay with this, and he is until his friends start getting hurt, and he gets hope that he can get his powers back, and things are going well. Ichigo's getting his powers back slowly and surely, but while he gets his powers back, his friends start defending the man Ichigo wants to kill, Tsukishima, until eventually Ichigo is truly alone, and it's at that moment that this happens. This is Ichigo's breaking point. This is the lowest we've seen him in the entire series. Ichigo has lost everything. His friends, his sword for powers, his purpose. It's all gone, and that's when it all comes back. But before I get into that, I want to talk about loss. Throughout the series, characters are confronted with heartbreaking experiences of losing loved ones, facing personal failures, and witnessing the destruction of their world. This theme delves into the emotional journey of characters as they grapple with grief, guilt, and the need to find closure in order to move forward. Loss is a recurring motif in Bleach, serving as a catalyst for character development and introspection. The series portrays the impact of loss on individuals, their relationships, and their overall outlook on life. Characters are often forced to confront their own vulnerabilities, insecurities, and fears in the face of loss, leading to a transformative process of self-discovery and growth. Ichigo experiences profound loss early in the series with the death of his mother, as I mentioned earlier. This event shapes his character and serves as a constant reminder of the fragility of life. His journey becomes emblematic of the larger theme of coming to terms with loss, as his encounters with other characters who have also experienced profound grief and must navigate their own healing process. The theme of coming to terms with loss also explores the concept of legacy. Characters in Bleach grapple with the idea of honoring the memory of those they have lost by carrying on their will and ideals. They strive to find meaning and purpose in their own lives, often drawing inspiration from the lives and sacrifices of the departed, as characters find the strength to forge their own path while cherishing the memories of their loved ones. Throughout the series, Ichigo forms deep connections with various characters, and these relationships play a significant role in his growth and the overall narrative. First and foremost, Ichigo's bond with his family serves as a foundation for his character. His relationships with his father, Ishin, and his mother, Misaki, and his sisters, Karin and Yuzu, provide him with a sense of stability, love, and support. The process of his family not only grounds Ichigo, but also motivates him to protect those he cares about. In addition to his family, Ichigo forms friendships that become instrumental in his journey. His bond with Rukia, the Soul Reaper who initially grants him her powers, evolves into a deep friendship rooted in trust and mutual respect. Rukia's influence on Ichigo goes beyond their initial encounter, as she becomes a guiding force and catalyst for his growth as a Soul Reaper. Furthermore, Ichigo's relationships with his classmates and fellow Soul Reapers such as Chad, Orihime, Uryu, and Renji contribute to his development. Each of these friendships bring unique dynamics and challenges, but they ultimately strengthen Ichigo's resolve and broaden his understanding of the world around him. The camaraderie and support Ichigo receives from these individuals allow him to face formidable adversaries and overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles. And his anonymity with characters like Grimmjow, while initially driven by conflict, ultimately lead to moments of mutual respect and understanding. Moreover, Bleach Bleach also explores the concepts of chosen families, or bonds formed beyond blood ties. These characters and this chosen family emphasize the bonds that connections forged through shared experiences and shared values can be as profound and influential as biological relationships. The theme of bonds extends beyond Ichigo's personal relationships and encompasses the larger societal connections. The Soul Society, as you will. The world of the Soul Reapers is built on a complex network of relationships. Ultimately, the emphasis on bonds and relationships in Bleach reinforce the idea that no individual exists in isolation. It highlights the significance of human connection, whether they are familial, friendship-based, or forged through shared experiences. The relationships Ichigo cultivates through his journey not only shape his character, but also contribute to the overarching themes of loyalty, sacrifice, and the inherent value of human connections. Bleach explores the power of bonds and relationships through Ichigo's journey. His connections with his family, friends, mentors, and even adversaries have a profound impact on his growth, shaping his character and influencing the narrative. The theme of bonds is something that's very important because human connection has the transformative potential to change something in you, in your own life or your friend's life. You never know how your relationship with somebody is going to genuinely impact them. So please be kind to each other. But what truly sets Ichigo apart as a character is his growth and development over the course of the series. Ichigo undergoes a profound transformation, both in terms of his powers and his worldview. And as a result, challenges and conflicts, he is forced to confront his own limitations and weaknesses in order to grow. When he discovers the truth about his own heritage as a hybrid of Shinigami and Quincy, a race of humans with spiritual powers, this revelation shatters Ichigo's sense of identity and causes him to question everything he thought he knew about himself. He is forced to confront the deep-seated hatred between Shinigami and Quincy and come to terms with the fact that he embodies both of these conflicting worlds. Through this experience, Ichigo gains a greater sense of empathy and understanding for others who are different than him. Ichigo Kurosaki is a great character. He's complex, he has growth and development over the course of the series, and has a major impact on those around him. From his unconventional appearance and personality to his deep relationships with friends and enemies alike, Ichigo is a character who inspires admiration and empathy in viewers. His journey from a high school student with an unusual ability to a powerful and selfless hero is a testament to the power of growth and self-discovery, and his impact on those around him serves as an important reminder to the importance of empathy and understanding in our interactions with others. Overall, Ichigo is a character who truly deserves his place as one of the greatest protagonists in anime and manga.